Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. I am not hungover no more. I'm back. I'm fully on form and I'm ready to conquer another West Ham win this weekend. To my right is Jay. You know who he is. And we're here to talk about West Ham United recovery season and can we halt Arsenal's charge to a point. Jay, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. I am terrific. I'm a lot better than you were on Tuesday morning. As I'm sure the masses did, saw your follow-up video the morning after the night before. My goodness, there's nothing like a Monday night session, is there, James?
I'm telling you right now, mate, I was in bits, yeah, and I put on a brave face. The missus wasn't talking to me, right? It was all going off, and I was like, just leave me alone. Yeah, literally, the hat, she took none of the hats off and launched it. It was just, but she's a good girl, mate. I love her for her sandwich making, I will say that.
Fair play. Fair play.
But yeah, listen, on Monday, I was happy. Monday evening, I was happy. Tuesday morning, it was like the regret, wasn't it? Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, mate, no regrets. That's the perfect start to the week, right? West Ham win on the Monday, you get absolutely bladdered. Wake up on the Tuesday, and then I don't know what you're like, but especially on like the European runs, it was always like that, wasn't it? I don't know what you were up to, but every Thursday I'd be out like on the beers, whether I was at the pub, at home, or at the ground. And the Friday morning, I'd wake up feeling absolutely horrendous, but just sit there rewatching the highlights constantly and watching the goals go in. It was just so much fun. So it's nice to have that feeling back, right?
Yeah, listen, Thursday night sessions were a thing of beauty, trust me, because what I would always try and do before we get into the preview is make sure I have the Friday off. So I got the Friday off so I can treat it like a long weekend. Monday was great. This week's been quite calm in the West Ham community, I'm not going to lie. What are you saying about the future, Jay, looking forward? What are you thinking?
I mean, I said it before, didn't I? And to reiterate, like, this was the first sign that I've seen that Lopetegui is starting to get a tune out of the players. We've tried to, like, generally take everything game by game, and we've said that since the start. Just give us some reasons to get behind the team. And everything came together on Monday, and it was the passionate, driven, hard-working West Ham that we expected when Lopetegui arrived at the club. So it just change your outlook altogether? And like, I'm not going to get carried away. I'm not going to say this is a watershed moment. Just like if we get absolutely turned around and spanked at the weekend, I'm not going to turn around and say everything's undone. I think that we've now got something to build upon. It's nice to know that those players that we've like grown to love are still there. They are still the same blokes and they still care about West Ham. And so like you go into this game looking at it and going, look, Arsenal at home is a tough test. You can, if we just park what happened last season, because I'm sure we'll talk about that in a moment. But if you park that, in years gone by, we've given them a challenge at London Stadium. I think we beat them the year before. We drew with them the year before that. And, you know, it's been a difficult place for them to go. So hopefully the players will, I'm sure they will remember what happened last year, but hopefully Lopetegui will have studied it. They'll use it as motivation and we pick up where we left off from Monday and hopefully just put in a good performance.
I agree. Monday's performance, before I just do that, Monday's performance for me shocked me more than anyone. I didn't see that one coming. I'll be honest. Like, I was expecting a good hiding like the rest of us, and basically they played like that. Now, I'm not going to get over the top. I've learned my lesson on this one from previous years, that we win a game and everyone thinks we're back in action, and then we go into the next game and then we're not as good. But it's a start. It's a start. If we can build off of that going into this Arsenal game, which is a big game, right? We don't like it's a bit of rivalry between the two clubs, like not so much, i.e., as in league positions, but we don't like them for the way they was carrying on with the Declan Rice thing. They don't particularly like us, and it's North against East. So, you know, it's one of them games where I expect West Ham to turn up. And it's not like our past 5 game Saturday night, everyone should be there, raring to go. Do you know what I'm saying? What do you? Well, how do you look at this team selection for him? Because he's got a bit of a headache with Alvarez now.
Yeah, and I just see Michael put in the chat asking that question, which is a really
Yeah.
good question. Does he walk into the first team? I honestly don't know. I was thinking about this yesterday, actually. And I've said again, I said it on Monday. Pick a tactic, pick a style, pick a formation, whatever, and just go for it. Whether he wants to now go back to a more like 4-2, like kind of two defensive players in the middle and just Paqueta, or whether he wants to just stick with the same lineup. I don't mind as long as we're as well drilled and work as hard as we did on Monday. Then I'm not 100% like I'm not fussed either way, to be honest. I think Alvarez has been a bit of a liability this season. We know that.
Right.
He's constantly getting booked. He's just served his second suspension for his second red card of the season. So you would look at it on balance, and I've said this on this channel before, like why change a winning team? When they've just put in that spirited performance, why change a winning team? And you may grimace, and I will hear your argument to it in a moment, but there was something really nice about seeing West Ham show a bit of flexibility on Monday. The flexibility of, at one moment, Souček was the deeper midfielder in like phases of play where we had to sit deep. And in other moments, when we had the ball and we needed to build out from the back, we had two more creative players who were sitting deeper, getting involved with the back four and creating stuff and building out from the back. And we played quick, fast, accurate passes. And we broke through Newcastle so many times. So I don't mind if we want to go at Arsenal. Give us that like running performance. Give us that passionate, like give it everything performance. And there's no reason we can't give them as much trouble as we gave Newcastle on Monday. But tell me what you're thinking.
Oh, I don't know, mate. I don't know. I think we need Alvarez in this game. Like, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, their midfield's going to be Partey, Rice, Eldegaard. And we need some steel in there. Do you know what I mean? Especially against like Rice, because we all know how good Rice is. Don't get me wrong, but we need someone who's not going to be nice, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? We need to rough him up in the midfield. We need to get into Eldegaard and slow him down, and basically stop the supply line from him to the wingers. Do you know what I'm saying? I get the Carlos Soler had a great game, but that's the first great game in 12.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like we've got to be real. And for me, the best midfield West Ham have right now is Souček, Paqueta, and Alvarez. That's your midfield three. Now, Arsenal are going to have a lot more of the ball. Arsenal are going to be coming forwards a lot more, and we're going to be defending a lot more. So I think with Alvarez, he's a better class of defensive ability rather than Soler for me.
Can I ask you then? Because mate, they're totally valid points, right? Because my worry here is what message does it send to Arsenal? We've just played that midfield away at Newcastle, who are no mugs. They were in the best spell of form that they've been in all season. Everyone that I listened to in the build-up, all the pundits were talking about how great Newcastle have looked in recent weeks. Newcastle have older back. They were going to turn us over and smash us around and send us back packing. And we beat them 2-0 and we played that formation. So do you worry that it kind of sends the message that we fear Arsenal a little bit if we just bring Alvarez straight back in and change the formation and tactics slightly?
Not really, mate. Not really. You got to play the game, ain't you? Not the occasion. And like we're playing against a good side, and they are a good side. For me, it's the perfect game to set up in a sort of mid to low block and hit this team hard on the break because they're going to come forward. Right. And the problem is with Arsenal is that if we open up and we play this high line, we're going to get destroyed because they're just going to ping balls over the top, down the side. You give the ball to Eldegaard, he's just going to do exactly what he likes, when he likes. So we've got to use our brain here. Do you know what I'm saying? And basically stay in the game for as long as possible, and try not to lose the game to a point, Joe. I don't know.
Yeah, and again, this is why I'm kind of on the fence. If we do bring Alvarez in for Soler, firstly, I will be gutted for Soler. Like, I really will. He's been patient. He's not been great so far this season. Drops a brilliant performance on Monday, and then he comes straight back out the team. But I would understand it. So I totally get everything that you say. I feel like looking at the way that we played in midfield, all of the highlights that you'll see are when we pressed at the perfect moment. Paqueta especially was fantastic in the press in that second half. You look at his stats, like most tackles, most duels won, like his duel percent. Mate, he was sublime in that second half. So only when you look back and then you back it up with the stats and you go, Jesus Christ, he was actually brilliant. He did that thing that we thought he would do, playing against his Brazilian mates. And he was like, I said it before, didn't I? I was like, if he tries to out Brazilian the Brazilians, he'll have a great game. And it's exactly what he did. Now, it won't be the same as, like, obviously he's not got that kind of duel in the middle of the park, but against Declan Rice, he did this when we went to Arsenal last season and beat him 2-0. And every time he got the ball near Declan Rice, he tried to make a fool of him. And he did, like, realistically. So I wonder, now that Lucas Paqueta is starting to find some form, the way that you can potentially win the battles in midfield, Declan Rice isn't the best at progressive passes. He's brilliant at driving forward. You give him space and he'll drive forward, and you give him the time, he'll pick a really good pass forward. He's not going to, on the turn, just pick a like precision ball and break the line straight away. That's not his game. You put him under pressure, we all know, what does he do? He turns sideways, he goes backwards, or he goes sideways, because he doesn't want to lose the ball in those difficult positions and those vital positions to keep possession. So I do just wonder, because I agree with you on the mid block, the mid to low block thing. Like, there's no point playing a high line against this defense. The likes of Martinelli, Havertz and Saka. I was going to say Hazard. The likes of those three will just do us for pace, and we'll get done. But I do think that the midfield battle is a really, really important one. You've got Odegaard, who's not fully fit again. I don't think he's just come back from an injury. Declan Rice himself has just come back from an injury. If you get into him and press him, and I want to see someone absolutely go through Thomas Partey as well, and that's what I want to see Souček do, mate, there's no reason we can't win that midfield battle, or at least stop them from just pinging the ball straight through the centre. Because that's how I see us setting up in that three if Soler does start.
If we rough them up, we've got a chance. If we try and play them at their own game, we're going to get done. It's as simple as that. What Michael just said in the chat, they're making 100% right. It's a big game for Mikel Antonio. Yeah. Huge game, this one. This is a game where we do need him to hold the ball up for us. And we do need him to be strong. On Monday night, I thought he was excellent. I'm going to be honest. I praised him up quite a lot. But on this one, he's going to have to hold the ball up and get the ball wide to Bowen and Somerville as fast as he can.
And this is the thing, right? Because when we tried to go direct too quickly to Mickey, again, like, we love Mikel Antonio on this channel, don't we? Like, we absolutely love everything that he does. But you've got to, when you watch Mikel Antonio nowadays, I feel like you just have to understand his limitations. You have to understand he's 34 years old. He's leading the line. This is going to be his second time in a week. We play again. Is it Tuesday next week as well? Yeah. Like, he's a busy boy, and like you'll get 30 minutes of like full top quality Mickey doing everything, him running back, putting that slide tackle in on the halfway line. You'll get that for half an hour. But where he struggled in that first half was after that first half an hour, we were under a lot of pressure and we sat in the low block. We didn't have an outlet. So my concern is if we sit in the low block with two defensive midfielders, Mickey's not that great outlet in the second part of the first half, and we'll just be under so much pressure that something will have to give.
What's just to cut in though, but what's more important this weekend, a performance or the result? Because I know they both come in hand, but if we put in a performance like Newcastle, for instance, Jay, I think people would accept whatever the outcome is. I think it's all about I think the performance has to match of where we're trying to go. Because I'm going to be honest, if we go one step forward at Newcastle, then two steps back and we get hammered in this one, it's going to be a bit sort of like we don't know where we are. Do you know what I'm saying?
I would agree with you, and I would say the performance is the most important thing. And I talk about seeing signs of progress. I would see a sign of progress as us playing the same starting lineup and us going, right, we're just going to have a go at you. Like, we're going to play the same kind of style. We'll adapt at different phases of the game, but we'll still try and play our way. And our way was when the game started to stretch, we drew Newcastle onto us in the press. The two more creative midfielders dropped in. We just bopped it around them. And we played like quick 1-2s. We played like third man running, and we broke through their midfield. And that created the space for Jared Bowen to have his best game of the season. Because when it gets all compact, Jared's not at his best, is he? So if we're just going on the counter-attack, they will know all they've got to do is double up on Jared Bowen, because our best outlet is him. So if we don't spread the game and try and space the game out enough, I worry it will become too predictable, and it'll be like that first half against City, and we'll just be under the cosh constantly. And we got lucky with a goal against City where Kudus created some space and it went in off their own man. And other than that, we weren't really in that first half. It was the second half when we actually opened the game out, spread the game out a bit. And that's when we actually started to hurt City a bit. So I just worry if we go too negative too quickly, are we sending the wrong message and are we actually going to get in a game? Whereas if we invite the press on a bit, I've got a bit more confidence in the way that we played out the back. I thought we played out the back brilliantly on Monday. And Arsenal will want to press us out the ball as well. That's the way they play. So I say give it a go. And the final thing I'll say on this before I get your thoughts on that is we know Lopetegui's not scared to make a first half change if he's got it wrong. So I say if he's happy to just go for it and play the way he did, if it's going wrong and we're 2-0 down after 20 minutes, then we've got it wrong. He's had a go, change it up, and let's try and get back in the game. So it's not my ideal scenario getting it wrong and making a change. But, mate, I'm all for it's about the performance, not the result. Let's just go and try and have a go at them.
I get what you're saying. I do, but if we go 2-0 down when there's no way we're coming back and beating this team. Or
hypothetical, but I do. I get you.
Yeah, it's like for me, I think we've got to respect the opposition for what they are. They're a good side, even though I don't like to say it. They're a good side.
Yeah,
I think you've got to respect that what they've done in midweek against Lisbon. Like I went to sport in Lisbon and rolled five past them. So it's not being sort of negative to sort of be a bit sort of cagey in this one and say, right, let's rough them up, let's push them wide, let's frustrate them, because Arsenal will keep continuously coming forward. And if we can hit these on the counter attack with Somerville, Bowen, Antonio, we've got half a chance. Also, set pieces are going to be massive because they are very good at them.
Yeah,
and we're going to have to be good at them because the amount of goals last year that they scored from set pieces, where Gabriel or Saliba comes flying in and gets the goal. That's where we've got to be on it. And for me, the Newcastle game was a good result. I was over the moon with it, because we didn't see that one coming. This is a different level now. Like we're going to have to be on it from minute 1 to minute 94, 95. Do you know what I'm saying?
Just on that as well, because I watched most of that Arsenal v Lisbon game, and just because we're playing them this weekend, and I thought, let's have a little look, and they were fantastic. They were really, really good. We know what a side they are. Like to go to Lisbon and just slap a load of goals past them is pretty special. That Lisbon team, despite the fact they've just lost their manager, that Lisbon team is still a very good side. So to go there and turn them over was pretty impressive, I must say. But at the same time, again, to maybe look at this a different way, if you're going to play a high energetic style, they've just come back from Lisbon in midweek. They've only had one full day to prepare because they'll have done post game on Wednesday, and then they'll get Thursday as their tactical session, and then it's the day before where they have a lighter day as well. So they've only got 1 day to prepare for this because they're traveling as well. So if we come in with our high running and high energy style that we had on Monday, we could catch them asleep. There's no reason why that might not catch why that couldn't catch him off guard. And
what do we learn more from, Jay? Right before we get to the lineup, what do we learn more from doing what we done on Monday and going with a style that we want to try and integrate, whatever the outcome, whatever the result, or playing a cagier game and basically trying to hold Arsenal to a point?
I think both of them we could learn quite a lot from. I think if we played a cagier game and then get slapped, I think it will cause more unrest, and we'll go. I
agree with you on that. Yeah.
Like that's the issue. If we default back to type and then we get turned over 3-4-0, then everyone's going to go, well, that was pointless, wasn't it? Whereas if we go with a style, we give the signs again of like more running, more energy, more desire, because desire is what had been missing the most. But if we go out there and we go at them and we not control the game, but we have like 20-30 minutes where we're giving as good as we get against Arsenal,
as long as we're in the game.
As long as we're in the game, and then it falls apart later on. I think we could probably sit here the day after or whenever we sit and like sort of have a post-mortem of the game and probably go, well, actually, if we look at it in phases, it worked for X amount of time. It just fell apart because of X, Y, and Z. So I think there's lots you can learn from both things. But if we go for a low block and go for a more defensive style, you bring yourself in for more criticism, I would say, because the result becomes more important.
Hopefully, you are right.
Yeah,
I'm going to say that. Right, let's come to the lineup. What are you saying? I think we'll go for it game by player by player. Fabianski in goal, would you say?
Fab's in goal, back-to-back clean sheets. He's looked really good since he's come back in the team, isn't he? Yeah, word for Fabian. What is he? Is he 39 or 40? I think he's 40, isn't he? Yeah, the bloke is still turning out quality performances. He might
Joe,
end himself another contract.
Joe, what? I've got to get back over playing football, mate, because if that's the case, he's the same age as me, near enough. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he's in goal. Big game for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, this one, because he's going to be up against a winger who will run at him, and he's going to have to be on it. Wan-Bissaka right, Emerson left, Kilman in the middle, and then you got a choice between Mavropanos or Todibo.
Just a quick word to Colin in the chat as well. Shout out Colin. He just mentioned maybe put Wan-Bissaka up against Bukayo Saka, which is a reasonable shout. I don't know whether it's the right game to like toy with that back four, but a reasonable shout and quite sensible. Put the best defensive player against their best attacking player. It makes a lot of sense. The problem there is bringing Soufal in against Martinelli, and I think he gets absolutely skinned by Martinelli. I think he's way too quick. That's an interesting comment as well. If Todibo's injured, what do you do? Like, how will Mavropanos step up to this game? I mean, you look at, we got the dichotomy of Mavropanos last season. In the away leg, he was brilliant and he got his goal. In the home leg, we shipped 6. So you don't know what Mavropanos you're going to get. But what I did like from what I saw against Newcastle was he looked full of confidence. Looked absolutely full of confidence.
I completely agree.
And how interesting is it that after that international break, certain players, Mavropanos, who's been the main man for Greece, Jared Bowen, who got his goal for England, both of them looked absolutely on top of the world, and they both look ready to run through a wall for us. So like, I'm relaxed about that. I think it's more suited to Todibo because he's a bit quicker, and Mavropanos is he just loses concentration quite regularly as well. So I would prefer Todibo personally, but if he's injured and he can't play, or if he's sick, I don't know what was wrong with him.
There's a groin or hamstring strain, I think. But Michael saying in the chat there, Todibo had stomach upset and should be fit for Saturday. If he's fit, then great. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what like we need him in there. He could do a man marking job on Havertz all day long. So the back four, Now, Danny's going to have the ump in the chat, but I think Alvarez has to play for Soler. I really do. I look at it and I think with Alvarez in there, he can get into the likes of Partey and Rice and Eldegaard. Eldegaard especially, because he's the one who's going to be pulling the strings for them. Do you know what I mean? Partey ain't going to make stuff happen, but Rice could do. But we all know how good Rice is. He's going to be sort of... Do you know what I mean? Box to box to a point. Eldegaard's the guy that we've got to stop. And for me, if you get Alvarez on him, and get into him, as long as you don't get a booking early, then it can slow him down to a point. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the worry with Alvarez, though, isn't it? You say as long as you don't get a booking early, mate. How many times has he booked in like the first 15 minutes of a game, and then he's walking on eggshells, and he's been sent off from that twice this season? I just worry about bringing a liability in such an important game. I will stand by the cardio king, Carlos Soler. It is no coincidence that he starts a game and it's the second most distance a single team in the Premier League this season has covered in 90 minutes. There's no coincidence in that, and it solved a lot of our problems. It's risky. We could be 2-3-0 down early on, but like I think he's earned it. I think he was brilliant. He got his standing ovation when he come off against Newcastle, thoroughly deserved. He corrected a lot of issues. I think he won't be scared to get in the faces of a couple of players. Granted, he's not big, he's not physical, but he'll run at them. So,
James has got a bet on Alvarez booking first up. I haven't, as it goes, mate, but we'll know, don't we?
I'm sure we'll see when the lineups come out, and then I'm sure you will do.
I'm sure there'll be a few quid on that. So, well, we're a bit mixed on the midfield area.
A rare disagreement or a differing opinion on this, but I would stick with Soler if it's me.
Yeah, but I think he needs to have a good game in this game, Soler, to start convincing me. A one-off game after him being here 12 games, I don't think he's going to cut it. He's good. He was very good Monday night, but this is a different game now, and he's going to have to perform in this one. Do you know what I'm saying?
Do you know what I think is the ideal scenario is that Alvarez plays 60 minutes and it's 0-0 at 60 minutes, and then you bring Soler on for him, and you get 30 minutes of Cardio King just running around like a nutter and like pressing people, and you get fresh energy come on, because it is nice seeing fresh legs come on. And I'm not going to be one of those who lists the benefits of Lopetegui being that he uses his substitutions a lot.
Yeah.
But like, it's nice seeing fresh legs come on, and he's obviously in their ear going, right, you got 10 minutes here, go and run yourself into the ground. Soufal is prime example of it. Not the best footballer, not the prettiest, but when he come on, he was defending that 2-0 lead with his life, and he was everywhere. And that's what I want. So the ideal scenario, if I was to say how I'd like the game to go, start Alvarez 0-0 at 60 minutes. He comes off for Soler. Ings comes on for Antonio, and fresh legs running, differing like style. I'll be here for it. And then we nick a 2-0 win late on. I'll be over the moon with it. But, I don't see it. I think Alvarez is too much of a liability. This is too big a game for him, and I don't trust him, basically.
I suppose if we can get in front, then he's ideal to bring on, isn't he? Like to see the game out to a point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, hopefully.
So, right, there is that argument. Right, let's go to the attack line. It's the same attack line and that it was on Monday, really. Somerville, Bowen, Antonio. Somerville's going to have a good go at it. Do you know what I'm saying? He's going to be up against Timber, is it? I think Timber's going to be on that side.
I think it will be. Ben White's injured, isn't he?
Yeah, so he's going to be up against Timber. Now, I'm going to be honest, Timber's good at going forward, but he leaves so much space in behind. If we can get the ball to Crescencio as fast as we can, this kid can get us up the pitch, and then we've definitely got half a chance to a point. Big game for Bowen. Obviously, the Saka Bowen thing will rumble on. Do you know what I mean? Everyone thinks that Bowen's crap, and I see someone put a TikTok out saying Bowen's he's not even he's not even a good player apparently. So the shit people will talk on these social media platforms is beyond a joke. And also a big game for Mikel Antonio. This is the one what I said earlier on. We need this kid to hold the ball up and allow the team to push up. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, Paqueta can do the supplying or passes down the sides and over the top, but Antonio's got to be on it. If we get the Mikel Antonio that's on it in this game, and do you know what? I don't know about you, Jabe, right? But on Monday, I looked at Antonio in the first 10 minutes. I went, yeah, he's on it tonight. I just knew. I just looked at it. I thought, right, he's right up for this one. You can tell. If we can get him up for it on this one, I'll be happy, mate. I really would.
100%, mate. He's got a job to do in that first. We said, didn't we? When he's got that 30 minutes of energy, he's got a job to do. Get into their centre backs, try cause as much problems as he can, and then see what happens. I've seen this as well. So here's an interesting one, right? Because maybe a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, it was like, oh, he's in contention or he's got a late fitness test or whatever. And then Lopetegui in his pre-match press conference, the quote I've seen is he's 2-3 weeks away. I wonder if he's just like trying to pull a fast one and he's actually fit to play like 10 minutes or so, or he's just available to be on a bench. Be a massive boost if he is, and we've got a different option to bring on. Imagine you're a goal down, and with 10 minutes to go, you can bring Ings and Fulkrug on and again, change shape, change formation, just change what we're doing.
I just think
just pump balls at him. Like
I just think we need to have him on the bench, mate. Like, do you know what I mean? Because it just feels like a wasted signing at the minute, doesn't it? We haven't seen nothing, have we? It's a Bournemouth performance and a substitute appearance against Palace. So if he is on the bench,
slow in that Bournemouth game, he was so unfit in that game as well.
That's what I'm saying, mate. So I'll be honest. If he's on the bench, that's a G up in itself. Do you know what I mean? Because then you could allow Mickey and say, Mick, you go 70 minutes strong, as all right, just give it everything. And we've got reinforcements on the bench to bring off. Do you know what I mean? Danny Ings, I think Danny Ings has done all right. I'm going to be straight. He hasn't really done anything wrong, has he?
Mate, he's another one that when he comes on, he looks like he'll give whatever he has to give in the 20 minutes he gets in a game. He looks like he's desperate to making him. I think he probably feels as bad as anyone that his spell at the club hasn't gone how everyone had hoped it would. And I think he knows he's got 6 months left at West Ham. He'll want to go out on a bang and he'll want to go out and prove everyone, look, I am the striker that everyone thinks I am. And he'll probably want to earn himself a contract somewhere as well. There's a lot of players with a lot to prove in this game. To your point of the Bowen versus Saka thing, Bowen's going to be up for this. Still good mates with Declan Rice as well. So, he's going to be well up for this. On Crescencio Somerville, right? I wanted to talk about that. Kudus is back next game. And the question is, does Kudus come straight back in for Crescencio Somerville? Because as much as, again, we're fans of Somerville on this channel, you're his biggest fan by any account. His goal involvements haven't been great. Like when you look at it purely from a numerical perspective, there's more to
Yeah.
the game than just stats. There's more to the games and goal involvement. So I'm on your side in this one. But if you look at it from what is that left winger's role, the left winger's role is to beat his man and put a ball in a box, or beat his man and create something. He scored that goal against Manchester United. Delighted for him. Has he grabbed the ball by the horns enough so far that he could keep Mo Kudus out the side for Leicester? Because we all know when Mo's back, Somerville's getting benched. So big night for him to prove that he should stay in that left wing spot. What do you think about the potential for Kudus coming back straight in for him?
We said this the other day. Funny enough, we spoke about it the other day. For me, this is where Lopetegui might win the fan base or lose it in one hit. I don't think Christ and Summerfield deserves to be dropped, mate, if I'm being real. Yeah, but I want Mo in the side. So you've got to take someone out of that midfield area. Do you know what I mean? Personally, you've got to make a big decision in the midfield and go with Mo as a 10. Christ Summerfield's done well for us. He really has. And people are like, oh no, yeah, he's been okay. But defensively, he's very good. Like his work rate defensively is very good. Yeah, and he gets back and he tracks back and all that. That's one thing that Mo isn't as hot on. He's good the other way, but defensively he does go a bit missing. Big decision. It's a huge decision, that one, because I'll be the first one to say I want Mo in the side straight away. Yeah, Leicester away. It's 3 points up for grabs there. But I do think you might have to change tack on that one and go with a 2-man midfield rather than a 3. Yeah,
I know we will do like the Leicester game when it comes to the Leicester game. We go one at a time, but could we see a midfield of Souček, Paqueta, Kudus? A flat 3 of Souček, Paqueta, Kudus? Could you see it? Like our 2 most dangerous attacking players in a midfield 3. We've proven that the system can work. Like, could it happen? I'm just saying, when we get close to the time, that's an interesting conversation to have. I said at the start of the season, I wanted to see Alvarez, Paqueta, Kudus in a system. We weren't good enough. We've just proven we can play 2 more attack-minded midfielders alongside Thomas Souček. Could we see it? I don't know.
I agree on that. It will be asked to drop Somerville when Kudus comes back in its dilemma for Jayla. But what a dilemma it is. Let's get to this, though, right, before we wrap this up. Predictions time, Jay. I'll let you go first. What are you saying?
Isn't it mad how different a win makes your perspective on things? Like before Monday, we were looking at these 2 games and going, we're going to get turned over in both these games. It's not going to be pretty, and Lopetegui will be out the door.
Yeah,
I think regardless, we could get beat 6-0 again, and I don't think Lopetegui will be out the door. I don't think he's going anywhere, personally. I think that win has probably put a lot of people at ease behind the scenes. People who want him to succeed. It's put me not at ease. I've still got my skepticisms of Lopetegui, but it's certainly given me some faith that, all right, this guy's not a complete moron. Like he's managed to get a tune out of him in a big game away from home at St. James's Park. He's managed to repay the faith of all those 3,000 something fans that traveled the length of the country on a Monday night, and he gave them a night to remember. So he's bought a little bit of credit from quite a few people, I would say. The way I see this game, and I'm probably looking at this with rose-tinted glasses, but I see Arsenal coming off the back of a really tough challenge at Lisbon and turning them over. Coming back to now come to West Ham in a game that they turned us over last year, we could see a little bit of complacency come in. And we could see them walk into a game against West Ham United, as Newcastle did on Monday, believing they're going to stick goals past us without us putting up a fight. I'm going to have faith in Lopetegui that he's going to at least inspire these players to go out and put a performance. I don't think we're going to win the game. I think it will be 1-1 at like some point in the game. And can we hold on for a 1-1 draw? It totally depends on how the game unfolds. All I'm going to predict here is I think we're going to give a good performance. We're probably going to lose. I think it's probably going to be 2-1 to Arsenal. But as long as when I'm in the terraces, I'm with an Arsenal fan. My mate who's an Arsenal fan's coming with me. As long as I can sit there and genuinely say we've given it our all and we've given them a game, I'm happy as far as I'm concerned. So I think we'll lose, but I think we'll go down with a fight.
We need to score first. I said it the other day. I'll say it again. This is another game where we need to score first to put them on the back foot. One thing I noticed with West Ham on Monday, they was very controlled. at 1-0, and even at 2-0, they was very controlled. They attacked when they had to, they defended when they needed to, and they looked on it. They looked on it. The boys did look on it. I will say that. They're going to have to outdo their running stats for Monday night in this game, because if we can outrun Arsenal, then we're starting to look up. I agree with you though. I'm gonna say a 2-2 draw. I think there's goals in this game. I think we can see goals. I'm hoping that they're going to be complacent. Arsenal, they haven't been great, right? They come back and beat Forest after the international break, but before the international break, they hadn't won a game. Do you know what I mean? So they're a bit hit and miss. Never had a draw for a little while either. So I think the draw's there for us. I'll be very shocked if West Ham win.
Just to add in as well, Gabriel picked up a knock on Tuesday as well, and there's a chance he might not be able to play. If he's unable to play, they'll be without White, Gabriel, and Tomiyasu, and you'll see probably Urian Timber play at centre back and Thomas Partey at right back. So no natural players on the right-hand side of their defence against Crescencio Somerville. What a big day that would be for Somerville.
Right, you've convinced me. 3-1 West Ham. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's fuck them North London bastards up.
It could be a perfect storm here. Three right-sided defenders could be out for Arsenal, and Somerville could turn up, and Antonio could end up giving Urian Timber nightmares in that first 30 minutes. We don't know. Like we'll see, won't we? But let's see.
It's going to be interesting. To say that. Jay, any final words before we make a move, son?
Happy Thanksgiving to all of our Americans out there.
Shout out to Lucas.
Yeah, to Lucas as well. I hope he's enjoying the holiday festivities. Shout out to all of our global hammers supporting us, getting up at crazy hours and staying up till all hours, watching the club. I'm glad that you were rewarded if you sneakily watched it at work or stayed up till whatever o'clock at night to watch it on Monday night. I'm glad you were rewarded. Mate, I'm for the first time probably this season, or certainly I can remember this season, I'm really looking forward to going to the game on Saturday. Cannot wait to get there. It's going to be a good day. Like I said, I'm with a mate who's an Arsenal fan. I hope that he's the one who's drowning his sorrows afterwards and not me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, mate. Still delighted with a win on Monday. And hopefully more of Cardio King's excellence in the centre of the park will inspire West Ham to another unexpected victory. But let's see.
I'm going to be honest. I agree with you 1,000%. I'm actually looking forward to this game. If you'd have asked me this a week ago, I'd have said, nah, mate, we're going to get hammered.
Yeah.
What a difference a week makes, isn't it? That old saying goes. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be packed out, 5:30, end of the month. Everyone's going to be paid. And, everyone's going to be looking to sort of get a result to a point. Do you know what I mean? What a difference a win makes. I'm going to be honest, what a difference a win makes. And listen, I'm not Lopeteguian. I'll make that quite clear. But I want him to succeed at this club. Now, if he can convince me, then he'll be a good man. Do you know what I'm saying? But at present, I'm just not convinced by him. I need to see the same performance again from Newcastle into the Arsenal, and then on to Leicester, and then Wolves, and so on. If we start seeing stuff shifting, then hopefully we might the Christmas period could be a good time for West Ham, and if we can pick up some points, then we can get up that league. That's what it's about. So yeah, smash a like on the video, subscribe to E20 Zone TV. You know where it is, the place to be. 1, 2, 3. That's me. I have done an opposition preview with a Arsenal fan, Matt, from the Back of the Net podcast. It is in there for the members. It will be released tomorrow for the public. Check it out. He's a good man, Matt. He come on last year when we beat them 2-0. And he did come on again when we lost 6-0. So, yeah, he's a good man, Matt. So go and check that out. We'll be back Saturday night, yeah? But this time, Lucas will be hosting and I will be coming in because I am out that day at an event. So I will be slightly drunk in the I'll be coming on, but Lucas will be hosting it. So the afterthought will be this weekend.
Get ready to clip it up when James is pissed on E20 once again.
You know what? Anyone would think I've got a drink problem, but I haven't. I just like it. Do you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But listen, when West Ham play, I'm either going to be drowning my sorrows or celebrating, one of the two. So I'm hoping it's a draw. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So listen, enjoy yourselves. If you want a mug, and I don't mean me, I am going to pick them up. I was supposed to pick them up yesterday, but I couldn't get there. So if you want a mug, put it in the comment section after this video's done, and you get it into a draw. Free draw. Yeah, spin of the wheel. If it lands on you, all you got to do is send me your address, and you get a legendary mug with Bobby Moore on it, Hurst, Devonshire, all these people on it, mate. It's custom made from a man out in Southend, and yeah, he's a good geezer, and he's helped me out, so I'm going to help him out by promoting his stuff. So yeah, that's enough from us. Anyway, from me to you, take it easy on this Thursday night. I'll see you again in the next one.